Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today talking to you about how VR and AR are transforming our world, both as consumers and in our workplace. Today, I'm representing Lenovo and the VR AR Association. I am the commercial AR VR lead at Lenovo, where I manage our global go-to-market strategy for augmented reality and virtual reality. And that covers our software, our hardware, and services. So this experience has really given me a great lens into the enterprise AR and VR ecosystem. But I'm also the founder and president of the VR AR Association, which has grown to be the largest global trade group for VR and AR technologies. There are about 70 chapters around the world with about 25 industry committees and over 1,000 companies that are members, which span from large corporations to mid-sized startups, to consulting firms, to universities and institutions, and individuals. And so this has given me a really good lens into both the enterprise and consumer ecosystems. And it's a great place to grow, learn, and connect with some of the best minds and thought leaders around the world. So I encourage you, if you're not a part of it, find a way to be a part of it somehow. But I wanted to start off with a little story. A few years ago, when Pokemon Go hit the market, there was a craze around that game. Well, one day I was sitting in my living room and my wife entered the room and she said, "Hey, there's a rare Pokemon a half mile away. We have to go." My kids came into the room. They said, "We have to go. Come on, Dad." So I've been relegated to driving my family around to the Pokemon Go hotspots. Now, I bring this up because this has been one of the most successful mobile games of our time. But it's also opened up the opportunity of augmented reality to the world in a vast way. And Niantic, the company who makes Pokemon Go, has been trailblazing in a lot of the technologies, very sophisticated neural network type of technologies, for example, that can perform occlusion. And that makes augmented reality seem more real, more immersive. And it helps it to become an everyday piece of our lives, both as consumers in gaming and media, entertainment, but also in the workplace. So let's watch a quick video of how Niantic has done this with their occlusion technology. So what a fun way to showcase how this sophisticated technology is making augmented reality more believable and more a part of our everyday lives. That video was actually from about 1.5 years ago, and the technology has just started to make it officially into the gaming environment. So it'll be exciting to play that throughout the continued months and years with my family as well. But let's talk about why XR now. And really, I think we have to look at it in the lens that it's not really just AR that's coming of age or VR coming of age. It's really the whole industry. And so as we talk about some of these key components, one of these is that the 3D data standards are just becoming more and more commonplace. Companies are creating standards for 3D file formats and authoring programs to make it really easy as PDFs or JPEGs or PNGs to create, share, and view 3D files. We also have to look at hardware innovation. There are new powerful GPU hardware, even custom visual processing units and holographic processing units that are specializing in processing 3D data for next-gen devices. If we look at AI and IoT research, there's incredible advancements that have been made in AI research that have essentially commoditized computer vision that can help create and deliver realistic XR experiences. Then as we look at personal devices, mobile devices are benefiting from simple 3D file standards, hardware innovations, and computer vision to become our first mass market XR devices. Another key component is the cloud and 5G networks. Cloud computing makes our devices smarter and can even process and render XR data for our devices with 5G network speeds, improving the experience overall. And then, of course, we have the COVID-19 impact. And that impact has really started to accelerate this digital transformation, both in our workplace and as consumers. So looking at what to expect over the next few years, well, if we look at kind of the market trends, according to Artillery Intelligence, which is a respected analyst firm that really tracks the AR and VR market across all sectors, they have one of the more conservative estimates. With that, even though there's roughly a $10 billion market today that we expect to see transition into about a $42 billion market in just the next 3 years. So as you can see in these forecasts, that the consumer AR has one of the biggest market opportunities over the next 3 years, followed by enterprise AR, then consumer VR, and then enterprise VR. But let's talk about some of the key trends, both now, the near future, and 3 years out. So as we look at the last several years, consumer VR really broke the ice for enterprise use cases. I think we're all aware that when Facebook purchased Oculus for about $1 billion, that really transformed the industry. We're seeing AR and VR proving value in almost every industry. ARKit and ARCore has made AR more normal for popular applications. As we look at this year, just as mentioned a minute ago, industrial digitization is really accelerated due to the COVID-19 impact that we're all seeing at a global level. We're also seeing consumer platforms adopting more open XR files and standards. Next year, we expect to see continued democratization of AR development. A good example of this is an application called Adobe Aero. It makes it extremely easy to even just pull out your mobile phone, create an AR experience, and off you go. Barriers to entry for AR are going to continue to accelerate, to be removed. Essentially, like the camera, AI, and even LiDAR technologies that we've seen in the new Apple iPhone 12 Pro. These are creating incredible AR experiences. We're also going to see 5G rollouts really start to impact the consumer experience as well as enterprise campus networks. And then we'll also see in the next year AR becoming more mixed with mainstream media. We've already heard from Apple TV Plus that they're integrating certain TV shows where we'll be able to interact with our mobile phone and the TV show in augmented reality. I'm really looking forward to that. Then if we look at 2022, we expect that we'll see, AR will be seen more as commonplace, with Apple's hero device leading the adoption of head-worn computing. We expect Oculus, which is now Facebook Labs, and Niantic are expected to have AR glasses that are going to fuel social and gaming for always-on AR experiences. We're also seeing the AR cloud already start to emerge, but in the next couple of years, we see it really blending physical and digital worlds. Google is one of the leaders. Facebook, many others are really transforming this ecosystem. And then in 2023, we really expect that we're going to see mobile devices make up about 60% of the total AR usage, and AR glasses are expected to actually reach about 4 million devices by 2023, according to ABI research. So let's dive into some of these interesting use cases. If we look at consumer AR use cases, Snapchat is a great example of how they were able to really increase conversion by 25% working with Papa John's. Papa John's, if you don't know, is one of the largest pizza delivery companies in the United States. And they had a very successful Valentine's Day Snapchat Lens campaign that was meant to promote its festive heart-shaped pizza in the US markets. The front-facing camera activation let users play with heart-themed AR animations. I think what's key though here is the benefits. There was a 25% conversion rate of Lens viewers who actually ordered pizza. And they found that 60% of Lens views were from unique users, along with a 6% lift in brand awareness. So let's take a quick look to just some of the enablers here. That being Snapchat's self-serve ad platform, making it easier to deploy these types of solutions. And then when you have a direct-to-consumer supply chain, that also really helps with those conversion rates. Let's take a quick look at this video that explains how this campaign rolled out.
What we loved about partnering with Snapchat for this Valentine's Day experience was that we took the concept of Valentine's and exchanging Valentines that we all remember doing when we were a kid, and we made it better by making it accessible on a fantastic interactive platform. You could snap a code from our box topper and get pulled into a great experience. Or if you were a Snapchat user, you could just discover and play with our experience. And in both cases, we got fantastic engagement.
We know that Snapchat has an unduplicated audience that we can't reach on other platforms. And that was a primary reason that we chose to work with the team.
There was definitely an enthusiasm and an engagement that we were able to achieve using Snapchat that surprised, I think, even us.
Our campaign for Valentine's Day with Snap was able to bring in a 6-point lift of ad awareness with our customers. And that's not something that we typically see, so we were very excited about that KPI.
It was a moment that everybody could come together, and they did it through our lens with Snapchat.
So that was a great example of a consumer AR use case. Let's dive into a few more consumer AR use cases. One of those being the e-commerce and product visualization ecosystem. There's a company called Shopify that's making it really easy for its merchants to upload 3D product files in order to offer shoppers the ability to see them in AR before they buy. What's key here, though, is the benefits. These companies are seeing a 2x boost in conversions when AR is used for product visualization, and 13% average order value lift when AR is used by consumers to see before buying. Now, let's take a look at social AR and product try-on. As part of Gucci's Snapchat programs, shoppers could select from 4 pairs of shoes with 2 different lenses or filters. Now, what's interesting about this is they could also then purchase in the application. So again, creating a direct conversion of AR into a purchase. If you look at the benefits here, Snapchat has really got an interesting opportunity for scalability. They reach at least 100 million people in the United States alone, including over 90% of 13 to 24-year-olds. And we're seeing that there's a 4x longer view time than mobile video ads, with an average dwell time of 75 seconds. Then finally, if we look at AR advertising, viral AR ad campaigns have made consumers really go out and seek and share AR content, driving greater brand spending into AR categories. And a recent survey found that 48% of people would be more likely to shop at retailers that use AR. Some of the key enablers here that are going to continue to make this more and more possible include web AR, 3D data standards, 5G rollouts, and easy to deploy AR app tools like AR Core and AR Kit. Now, let's jump into a couple of consumer VR use cases. So a really good example here is kind of the merging of media and music in virtual reality, blending famous musicians, VR immersive experiences, and even interactive fan engagement and commerce creates opportunities that you just couldn't even get in a physical world. So John Legend created this program with the Wave VR, based out of Los Angeles, California, called A Night for Bigger Love. It was incredibly successful and interactive and a mesmerizing experience. If you look at some of the other benefits from this, just as the market as a whole, for example, Wave VR has received $40 million in venture funding to produce these social live events. There were also 400,000 people that attended a live event of a concert for violinist Lindsey Sterling in 2019. So we expect to see this continue to grow. Some of the key enablers include content IP distribution, volumetric capture, and increased network speeds and compression rates that are enabling all of this. Now, let's go into a few more examples of consumer VR use cases. If we look at live events, just like we just talked about, you're seeing a lot of these fans really kind of driving demand and it benefits the VR demand growth curve. We've seen a 16x demand growth for VR devices since 2018 for live events. If you look at gaming, custom virtual billboards and brand product placement is now starting to make its way into gaming and VR. In fact, Sony even has a patent for a new VR ad system for contextually aware periphery vision. If we look at kind of the benefits of this ecosystem, over 100 VR games have surpassed $1 million in revenue. There have been over 5 million Sony PSVR units sold in 2019, a big lift from the year previous. And there are now over 500 Sony PSVR game titles and growing. Then if we look at social VR, there's a new, Facebook Labs Horizon social VR world. I believe it's only in beta invite only now, but it's expected to really change the way that we interact with people in a VR world. And we should also, point out that companies are racing to launch this AR cloud, where a persistent layer of data is synchronized with the real world for users to interact. And eventually, we expect that we'll see even a blending of VR and AR type of devices. We're already starting to see that, but we expect over the next 3 to 4 years that will actually become much more pervasive. And then when we look at the enablers, again, being content, IP distribution, motion capture, volumetric capture, and increased network speeds and compression technologies. So if we take a look at enterprise AR and VR use cases, in augmented reality, we're seeing manufacturing being one of the most dominant use case environments. Head-mounted displays allow for workers to view live instructions for complex tasks, which allow for quicker time to completion. By displaying product imagery and standard operating procedures to users, process adherence and time reduction are vastly improved. In fact, a good example of this is we've seen a 25% reduction time needed to assemble complex airplane wire assemblies and an 86% reduction in assembly line QA inspections. Logistics and inside the warehouse, workers are able to have work orders sent to their heads-up displays and are guided to the shelf and shown what to pick with seamless accuracy. Exact information is provided in real time, allowing for faster and more accurate operations. In terms of benefits, we're seeing 46% faster picking times in the warehouse, and error rates are dropping to near zero rates with regards to logistics tasks. And then within enterprise VR, corporate training is really where we're seeing a lot of value created. From oil and gas engineers to even CPG, HR resources, companies are turning to VR to deploy global learning solutions that increase knowledge retention and can report out on the performance of that. Now, some of the key enablers that need to be considered in this, and one of the areas that I'm focused on a lot in my role at Lenovo, is to be able to provide a truly turnkey solution for hardware, software, and services so that these types of solutions can scale at a global level. You also need to consider enterprise mixed reality glasses, like the example here, which is Lenovo's Think Reality A6 headset. It's also important to consider IoT and ERP integrations, and even learning management systems that can be integrated into training systems. So hopefully this has given you a good snapshot of the many ways that AR and VR are really transforming our world. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. I want to thank all of you For more information on Lenovo or the VR AR Association, you can find more information here at the websites displayed. Thanks a lot.